everyone, Luke here and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is making a floppy disk coffee table with just a little bit of a secret. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So I've got a bit of a story for you guys. And a couple nights ago, I was laying in bed and it just kept getting later and later and later. And all of a sudden, an idea popped into my head. And I thought, imagine making a floppy disk coffee table, which is very cool in its own right. But not only that, imagine if it had the metal slidey mechanism to go along with it, which is also really cool. But imagine when you slid that mechanism to one side, it revealed a secret compartment, which is exactly what I'm going to go do. So, this is what I've done so far, and it's already coming together really nicely. And I've only done two parts, which is this main base table here, and these mitered joints all around, which look really nice. But the reason for these will become apparent later on in the video. If you are wondering how I got my measurements, this is exactly how I did it, so feel free to pause the video. And I think this is really awesome. And welcome back. So what I've done is I've put dowel into this, and it was really easy to do. And the reason for that is to keep these joints in place without the need of screws, which is actually really cool. So there's two more things that I need to do before I start building the legs. One of which is to put this last dowel in, and this is really easy to do. All you want to do is grab a little bit of glue, put it around the dowel, put it in the hole, then hit it with a mallet and just let that dry. Okay, so one of the last things that I need to do before I start building the legs would be to cut out a piece of MDF the exact size of these joints, and you want it to be as flush as possible, and I've already done that. So here is my piece. It just goes on the top like that, like so. That's going to get glued and clamped down, and once that is once the glue is set, it's going to be doweled in, so it's going to be super duper secure. And welcome back. So I thought there was a couple things that was update worthy, and one of which being is the piece of aluminium that I fabricated. And it actually looks really nice, and it was pretty easy to do. The second thing that's update worthy is that I've cut out my hole for the secret compartment. And have a look at this. So I put my aluminium in the set position of where it's going to sit. So it actually looks kind of like a floppy disk at the moment. And then you slide it along, boom, and it reveals a secret compartment. And there's probably one more thing that I should mention. And what you're going to notice is that I've put polyfiller all around this. And there's a reason for that. And that's because when I actually come to paint this table, it's not going to show the grain of wood through the paint. And that's exactly what I want. And I've done the same things to the legs. Well, at least the bits that are going to be on show. So I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit, and I'm going to try and attach the legs. And once I've done that, I'll be back for an update. So I'll see you guys in a second. Right, so now this has had 24 hours to dry. This has made this pretty strong, and I'm not going to be able to get that off. But I thought I might as well make it a bit stronger because I want it to last a long time. So what I've done is I've drilled 5 holes out, and they've been countersunk. Which means, when I screw these screws down, the heads of them are going to go below the surface layer, which means I can then fill it and then paint it, and you would not even know that they're there. So I can't get everything into frame, but I thought I'd show you a quick example of what it actually looks like. So you just get it in, screw it down below the surface level, and that's it. That is it, and it's done. There it is. Here are the legs, fully cut out, but definitely not quite finished yet. So I'm taking the time to make sure that everything is level, everything is square, and everything is cut to the exact same sizes, especially these legs. They almost look like duplicates of each other, but obviously you can't get everything so perfect, especially when you're a bit of an amateur like me. So I'm going to go off, I'm going to ponder on how I want these legs to look. But if there's anything that I feel like I should update you guys with, I won't hesitate to do so. So, I'll see you guys in a second. And there you have it. So I've attached the legs, and now I've got this shelf securely screwed in, which makes this whole frame really solid, and I'm super happy about that. But there's still a couple things that I have to do, and one of which being is that I have to attach this aluminium onto the actual table using the drawer slidey mechanism. And the second one being is that I have to figure out what colour I want to paint this. And I want to go something super crazy, just like an old school floppy disk. And there we have it. So I finally got the secret storage compartment installed. And it actually looks really nice. And I only have to do a little bit more sanding on this. And it was installed using homemade fiberglass, which I might actually do a video on, because that was really awesome. So there's only a few more things that I actually have to do. One of which is making sure this table is completely sanded down and making sure the wood is looking pretty nice. And the other thing is actually installing the aluminium, which reveals the secret compartment. So I'm going to give this a lick of primer, and once I've done that I'll be back to show you what it looks like. And there we go, here's a closer look of the actual table with the primer coat on it. And it's actually this really nice white colour, which I actually quite like. But I'm obviously not going to keep it this colour, it's going to go black I think. So, I thought I'd give you a close-up to show you the progress, and yeah, time to attach the aluminium, and I'll be back in 2 seconds. So here's just a bit of an update, and instead of going black with this, I decided to go green, just because it's such a statement colour, and floppy disks are usually really crazy colours anyway. And I'm really liking the look of this, to be honest. So I've darkened my hidden compartment out, and it's actually looking really nice. And the reason why I've done this is because of this. Have a look. How cool is that? Now I've got my aluminium sitting exactly how I want it to, which was a whole task within itself, I decided to add the sticker. And I used a method called tiled printed, and it's awesome. And I did a video on that a couple days ago, so if you guys are interested, make sure you go check that out. But now it's time to add a coat of varnish. And once we've done that, we've basically finished the whole project, which is really cool. So I'm going to go off and do that now, and I'll come back once I'm done. So now that I've added my varnish and I let it dry overnight, it looks absolutely beautiful. And there's nothing left that actually needs to be done. It's a completely finished project. But there's still something that we need to test. And that is, I need to make sure that I applied enough varnish over this sticker to make sure that it doesn't absorb any water. And this is really easy to do. Get a bit of water, squeeze it on, just leave it for a couple seconds and wipe it off. And as long as it doesn't leave a wet mark, which it hasn't, which is brilliant, you know that it's going to be water resistant. So there's still one thing to talk about, and that is this sliding mechanism right here. It looks fantastic, but it works even better. So take a look at this. Isn't that awesome? I don't think I could have got that to work better even if I tried. But there's still one thing to mention about this, and that is you need a little bit of extra pressure to get it past that point right there, and then it's really easy to open and shut. Which means it won't accidentally open when you don't want it to. Right, so let's take a closer look at the table. Isn't that just so cool? So this brings me to the end of the video, and I've really enjoyed making this, and I'm by no means a master at woodwork, and you can just look at the result and it looks beautiful, and that's just because I gave it a go. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them all. Anyway guys, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later.